Selected Letters of Claudianus Mamertus, Presbyter of Vienna. Letter 1. Greeting from Claudianus to Sidonius Apollinaris.
If it were possible for me to meet with you, my revered friend, even occasionally and briefly, it would not be to inquire about the desires or needs of some persons from here and there, but rather those things which may be of use for the sake of my duty. Indeed, the opportunity for a visit is hindered in many ways and by various unfortunate causes. Moreover, the ability to write either rarely presents itself suitably or does not present itself at all. Whether or not these same excuses are justifiable, you yourself must judge. Furthermore, the fact that others often receive your letters, who do not even seek them, and perhaps do not deserve them more than I do not think this goes unpunished by the laws of friendship. I also do not sorrowfully leave unmentioned that those little books, which you do not refuse to make famous in your name, you have never shared with me in response. But perhaps you do not have the free time to spare, which you dedicate only sparingly to your great friendship. When are you ever so busy or engaged that it does not serve the benefit of others? When you pray to God, you reconcile Him not only to friends but also to strangers. When you delve into the mysteries of the heavenly Scriptures, the more diligently you study, the more abundantly you impart the doctrine to others. When you spend your resources for the needs of the poor, you indeed provide for yourself the most, but also for others. Therefore, clearly nothing, indeed nothing, of all your actions, is so unfruitful that it brings abundant fruit for you alone and not for many others as well. Thus, no occasion of any hindrance can be falsely alleged, why I, your special and intimate friend, should gain nothing fruitful from my special one, from whom even many strangers gain much. But, as I assert, following the form of the evangelical giver, what you do not give to a hungry friend, you will give to an insistent knocker. Moreover, if you continue to harden yourself as usual even now, I will do something that will make you regret it, because if you sin further by remaining silent, I will immediately avenge myself by writing. For it is undoubtedly certain, that just as you are to be punished by my writing, so I am punished by your silence. Farewell.
Letter 2. Greetings from Sidonius to Claudianus.
You, my esteemed friend, are establishing a deeper bond of friendship, and you question why I've refrained for so long from picking up my pen and writing to you, and why no paper has carried my words to you to show my diligent concern for your well-being. You have speculated wrongly if you think that anyone who loves to converse in Latin wouldn't be afraid when their writing is judged by your ears. Your expertise in listening is so great that, if my merit from past times doesn't overshadow me, I wouldn't compare myself even to the gravity of Fronto, the weightiness of Apuleius, or the eloquence of Varro, Adicinus, Terence, or Pliny, either the elder or the younger. Supporting my opinion is that book you wrote, rich in knowledge of the soul and the sciences of words and things. In it, when you mention my name in the introduction, I received the greatest honor. My reputation, which was not worth much, has been immortalized by being included in the titles of your books. Oh, what a great and magnificent work it is, enclosed in its subject matter, conspicuous in its rhetoric, intricate in its propositions, and unlocked through debate. Although it has thorny points because of the complex syllogisms, it's still sweet with the bloom of flourishing eloquence. The new words there, though ancient, would make the style of even the oldest literature seem outdated in comparison. What is more precious is that the entire diction is so sharply concise that it flows naturally, being expansive in content but tight in sentences, teaching more than it says. In your books, how remarkable it is that despite their maturity, they retain a certain tenderness and mix in a timely sweetness. This keeps the reader's attention, which may become tired by the detailed parts of philosophy, refreshed with delightful excursions, as if in the harbors of your vast sea. O book of many strengths, O eloquence not weak but subtle! It neither swells with hyperbolic outbursts nor shrinks with humbling simplicity. It is a unique and singular doctrine, notable in asserting various matters, accustomed to philosophize with experts in each art. If chance demands, it does not hesitate to hold the lyre with Orpheus, the staff with Aesculapius, the compass with Archimedes, the horoscope with Euphrates, the compass with Perdix, the plumb line with Vitruvius. It never stops investigating with Thales, the times with Atlas, the stars with Zetes, weights with Chrysippus, numbers with Euclid, measurements. Ultimately, no one in my age has been able to affirm what they wished as you have. For when you engage in argument, you rightly claim mastery of both languages and disciplines. You feel like Pythagoras, divide like Socrates, explain like Plato, implicate like Aristotle, flatter like Aeschines, become angry like Demosthenes, bloom like Hortensius, incite like Cethegus, linger like Fabius, pretend like Crassus, dissemble like Caesar, persuade like Cato, dissuade like Appius, and convince like Cicero. Now, if we compare you to the Holy Fathers, you instruct like Jerome, refute like Lactantius, build like Augustine, elevate like Hilary, humble like John, reprimand like Basil, console like Gregory, overflow like Orosius, are concise like Rufinus, narrate like Eusebius, urge like Eucherius, provoke like Paulinus, and persist like Ambrose. As for your hymn, if you ask my opinion, it is well composed, abundant, sweet, and elevated. It surpasses any lyrical dithyrambs in poetic charm and historical truth. What's special about it is that, within the bounds of meter, syllables, and their natural placements, rich words are enclosed in short verses. The brevity of tightly structured poetry does not diminish the length of ornamented prose. These, and the smaller Pyrrhic feat, not only surpass the triple molossus and anapized, but also the four-part combinations of epitrites and paeans. The grandeur of expression exceeds regular limitations, and it is like a large gem barely fitting in a small setting of gold. It shines forth like the spirit of a powerful horse, which, if held back by the reins in rough or uneven terrain, you understand that it lacks not speed but space. In short, I consider myself skilled in both styles of speaking, and neither the Athenians of Attica nor the muses of music would judge otherwise, provided that my prolonged laziness has not deprived me of the opportunity to critique. For while I gradually adopt a new style of writing under the guise of a forced profession, and unlearn the old suddenly, I have nothing more of a good orator than that I have become more of a bad poet. Therefore, I ask that you pardon this fault of mine, because, remembering myself somewhat, I rarely mix my dry stream with your river. Your trumpet will be honored by the whole world as it deserves. It is known to have sounded with double success, since it found neither rival nor equal, even as it long traveled through the ears and mouths of the people, while I also circulated it. But for us, it is a great audacity to babble even among local and established orators or court advocates, who, even when they make speeches, with all due respect to the better ones, a larger crowd, vacate the most illiterate letters. For you, who can alternate between free and constrained speech, few whom fair Jupiter loved will imitate. Farewell.
Letter 3. To Sapaudus the rhetorician, from Claudianus.
Greece, the teacher of all disciplines and arts, advanced greatly in noble studies, and encompassed almost the entire world with its diverse teachings, because no one there who produced anything of good quality lacked deserved honor. Hence, some men, nearly surpassing the nature of mortals, used their exceptional talents everywhere, tirelessly investigating hidden truths, and comprehensively grasped the underlying causes of origins and the fixed limits of temporal substances, not only within the worldly but also entering the heavenly secrets. I mention this now because, since the time of our ancestors, there has been a decline in the good arts, and humanity, neglecting the cultivation of the mind, which alone sets us above animals, serving luxury and wealth, has fallen into laziness and ignorance, thus completely losing virtue along with learning. For, not only does no one aspire to innovate anything, but no one even seeks to unlearn without you alone. Should we attribute this to human negligence or nature? If we blame nature for this evil, can it be said that the human race differs from itself, or are the talents not the same as they were before? Did Cicero, the greatest orator of his age, possess his natural talents at birth and, disregarding both domestic and civic matters, travel to Greece to acquire richer knowledge? Or did perhaps Plato, the pinnacle of philosophy, content with his natural talent, not travel as far as Egypt and to the Brahmins of India, and to the heirs of Pythagorean teachings, diligently seeking knowledge? I remain silent about others because neither time nor the task at hand allows it. I will say one thing without a doubt: our age lacks not talents, but studies. I would mourn the death of these studies with a sorrowful epitaph if you had not revived the same with your venerable profession, commendable diligence, sharp intellect, and fluent eloquence. The more admirable this good is to me, the more desperate it was. For I see that the Roman tongue is not only a matter of negligence but also a source of shame for Romans, with grammar being pushed away as if it were barbaric, dialectic feared as if it were an Amazon ready to fight with a drawn sword, rhetoric not being accepted as if it were a grand lady in a small space, and music, geometry and arithmetic being despised as if they were three furies. Following this, philosophy is viewed as a sort of ominous beast. But these points are brought up to praise you, for if many shared your dedication to studies, you would indeed be one of many, if not the best. However, without any insult, in our Gaul, you alone are the one and only of your profession. This statement is neither flattery nor adulation. Indeed, I am incapable of flattery, nor do you need false praise. The sweetness of your declamations mixed with virtue, in the manner of Attic honey, which by its very nature contains healing, strength, and sweetness, cannot be removed or separated from my mind. Just as a bird and industrious bee on the hills of Hybla draws down nectar from the heavens and infuses it into created flowers, feeding and nurturing the offspring of its virginity with the abundance of honeycombs, so you, drawing from the greatest authors as if from high mountains, gather the most learned and fragrant and fertile ideas like flowers, filling them with the honey of your intellect, producing honeycombs of eloquence, from which your numerous beloved students are formed, who, imbued with the nectar of Greek studies, and fed as if with Attic honey, when they begin to spread their wings, will themselves produce honeycombs of eloquence. Just remember that the duty of teaching is an inheritance from your ancestors, and thus you must strive even more abundantly for knowledge. A vast amount of knowledge from your ancestors has flowed into you. You should also remember the ancient nobility of the city of Vienna, of which you are a citizen and scholar. You must fulfill your double duty, which is to respond both to the fathers and to your country. At the end of this discussion, I very familiarly ask that you disregard the childish trifles of new theories, and do not waste any time reading them, of hollow words and weaken oratory strength with their applauding harmonies. Let Nevius and Plautus serve you for elegance, Cato for seriousness, Varro for expertise, Gracchus for sharpness, Chrysippus for discipline, Fronto for grandeur, and Cicero for acquiring eloquence. For anyone among the recent writers who has written something worth remembering did not read these new things either. Therefore, those authors should be revisited and remembered, from whom those we admire have been able to benefit. Yet, I have perhaps added a bit too familiarly as a testimony to our friendship, but let your kindness pardon this boldness of love.